Hey everybody, so I just wrapped up a quick one-on-one with one of my pop-in clients, and she ordered something and I promised her that I would go live and show some quick applications and ease of use that she could come back and rewatch later tonight. So I want to go over, she ordered our custom, it's a single foundation and 2 concealer palettes. So this is what she physically ordered. I usually keep my stuff in a Z palette. And so all I did was just, whoops, I just popped out my 1 foundation and 2 concealers to pop it in for visual aid. Because this is physically what you're getting when you order. It's $76. It is a huge value. Your foundation will typically last you 4 to 6 months. Or I'm sorry, about 4 to 6 months, that's right. 4 to 6 months on this, depending on how much you're using and how often you wear your makeup. And your concealers are going to last you far longer. These 2 concealers I've had for the better part of a year, and they're still extremely full. You need very little of this product. And so I wanted to kind of demonstrate that. So when you get this palette, which she just ordered, $76, these, like I said, are going to last you a heck of a lot longer than your foundation. But what's nice is once she runs out of her foundation, she can push through here, pop that pan out, and just replace the pan. And the single pan of foundation is $36. So it's really easy to kind of pop in and out. Hi everybody. I am barefaced. My skin is still recovering from when I deviated from my skincare, so I look extra crazy. I do have redness. The surface acne is pretty much gone, but I have like residual redness. I see this as an opportunity to kind of show the coverage, so I figured it would be great. It's funny because I'm the lady who sells skincare and my skin is a complete hot mess right now, but I am working that to my advantage. And if you don't know, if you don't follow me, I went to LA last week, forgot my skincare and had to buy some Clean and Clear something or other, used it, and my face has basically been in rash mode ever since. Hi Haley. Hi. So that's kind of what's going on with my skin right now. Since going back to my normal routine, my skin is very much loving me. It's feeling better. It's not burning anymore. The chemical, I've never realized how much chemicals do not like my skin, or my skin does not like chemicals rather. But the rash is pretty much gone and it's just in healing mode now. So before anything, before I demo this foundation and 2 concealer palette, I'm going to moisturize my face. I'm using just our Skin Therapist. This is my normal moisturizer. So I'm going to quickly moisturize my face. It's clean, but you always want to start with a really, really hydrated face. You want your skin to be very beautifully hydrated. You don't want it to be oily or anything like that. But in the winter time, I have pretty much combination skin. But in the winter time, oh, thank you, Haley. I know I got my hair done yesterday. See, it's all blonde. I brightened up a little bit. But in the winter time, I have, combination that falls more on the dry side. So my hair is all sleek right now because I got that beautiful blowout. My sister is my hairstylist and she always does me right with that blowout. And I don't have a rubber band, but we're going to work with it anyway. So once you are moisturized, right? We need to be moisturized well. I'm going to prime. This step isn't 100% necessary, but if you really, really want to get your skin and get your skin well prepared for foundation of any kind, primer is always good. But make sure, if anything, if you're not going to do a primer spray, please just make sure that your skin is moisturized well. That's all I ask. If you can do that, then we are all set. So this dries fast, feels good, doesn't stink. It is wonderful. And now we're going to just do a quick demo on that foundation. Yes. All right. So hold on. Did I miss a comment? So glad your face is getting better. Don't forget your skincare next week. I will not. Yes. And Haley is right. Someone will have me covered. I have already packed my toiletry bag, and because I travel a lot, I'm just going to leave skincare in that toiletry bag, and so I don't forget it ever, because I cannot, absolutely cannot forget my skincare again. This is not the thing that you want a week before you go to Mexico, when you don't want to be wearing makeup in Mexico, but you also don't want to look like a monster. So, okay, so the foundation, I'm using my buffer brush. This is just my tool of choice for right now. Sometimes I move over to the Blenderful, but right now I am loving the buffer brush. And as someone who's tried pretty much every foundation out there, I even have a Pro airbrush from Ket. I have a whole Ket setup for Pro airbrush makeup and all of that stuff. I find that this is definitely, and I know I sell it, it's my job to tell you that this stuff is the best. I totally know that. But I genuinely, I'm very honest in what I advertise. I will not promote a product that I don't love. And there are products that I don't personally use or can't use, and I'll always be honest. But this foundation is absolutely hands down. It is what it is described and what it is marketed as. And that is professional, top selling professional foundation in the world for over 50 years. And there is good reason for that. So very light. And I'm only putting a little bit on my brush as I need it. Pretty sure you guys have all seen me before, but you see the redness just disappearing. It's like airbrushing it out, right? Without airbrushing. Haven't done my forehead yet. You can see kind of the difference in tone and texture. It's just evening my skin tone, and I'm using very little. If you're new to this foundation, remember, going from anything that's retail brand over to professional, there is a huge difference in pigmentation. And so you want to be really careful when you are when you're putting it on, because if you use too much, right, and if you have a retail hand for your makeup and you're heavy-handed like you are in retail products, you're not going to like it, because it will not feel as it should on your face. Remember, your retail brand foundations, they usually are about, going from a sheer coverage to a heavy coverage, you're going to have about 8 to 22% pigmentation. This right here is 50% pigmentation. That means 50% of what is in this pan is pigment, which is giving you that coverage, which means that translates to what? It translates to you use far less. And I'm barely dipping my brush. And when you're going through application, remember, it's just like eyeshadow. You can always add more, but it's really hard to take away without really starting from scratch and washing, drying, remoisturizing, repriming, and like all of that. So start slow and really blend it. The stuff will move until it sets, and move it around. And remember too, one other tip, remember, okay, if you're getting this, right, you bought one foundation and 2 concealers, don't use your foundation as a concealer. Your foundation is not a concealer. It has 50% pigmentation. It's going to blend beautifully with your skin tone, but it's not a concealer. Your foundation is not a concealer. It's going to give you great even skin tone, as you can see. Look, my skin tone is even. You don't see that rush. You don't see that residual redness. You're not seeing any of that stuff. But if I have some extra coverage spots where I have like one on my chin here, I have a little bit of discoloration right here, I had like a huge breakout rash also up here, you can see a little bit of redness in there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to then go into my 2 concealers. The reason I wanted to do a video on this specific one is because I have a lot of clients who ask, why do I need 2 concealers? And that's what I want to demonstrate here today. So I have 2 concealers here. This is concealer number 0, and this is concealer number 2. There's one in between it that has more of a greenish yellow. It's great for canceling out redness and going under your dark under eye circles, but I personally don't use it. Most of my clients get a highlighting and a concealing concealer. And so that's what I'm going to demonstrate. That's usually what I recommend. So I'm going to go in with concealer number 2, which is my coverage concealer, which works well with my skin tone. I am very fair. And I just took a little bit, just a tiny bit, onto my brush. And again, less is more. Less is always more. I have my window open. So I put a little on my brush, and I'm just buffing it really lightly. I'm not digging my brush into the skin. It's like a toothbrush. I come from the dental field, so I always like describe this to my clients. When you're brushing your teeth, the harder you press, the less clean it's going to be. The more pressure you allow to those bristles, the less it's, you know, it's not getting into the nooks and crannies and all that. Same with your makeup brush. You want to be just barely dusting it over your face. It should almost tickle. It should feel good and soft and all of that stuff. So we're going to use that brush to just kind of buff in the teeny little areas that I have residual redness from my breakout. And look at that. Okay, now going back to less is more, right? And I still look flat because I haven't added any contour. I haven't put any bronzer or blush or any color to pull any dimension back into my face. But I still look really flat. Now what I want to do is I want to use my second concealer, which is concealer number 0 for me. Depending on your skin tone, you might, you know, this is gonna vary. If you're super fair like me, then 0 is gonna be a great little highlighter. I'm just bringing it in the tip, getting a little bit on here. This stuff is very powerful, and I'm going to kind of just stamp it where I need it. Hopefully you can see that. I don't know if the camera's picking that up. And then lightly buff it as a brightening agent. So this is going to brighten up my under eye. And I don't go super heavy with this. Some people, if you're going out, you're going to like a wedding or something like that, you're going to brighten up a heck of a lot more than I do. And if you see, I just added a little bit more. You can see the power of this, and we're talking tiny amounts. This stuff is also an eyeshadow primer, and it's gonna move until it sets. So keep working with it. If you see that you got too much, just blend it out a little bit. But see the brightening on this eye. I know I stamped some over here, but you can definitely see the difference in how much brighter this side is as opposed to the other side. Got busy for a second. What foundation shade do I use? Today I'm using Olive 1. I can bounce between Olive 1, Gina Beige, and in the summertime, oh no, I don't know what I just did. Oh, my battery. Oh no. My battery is going dead. Either way, I'm facing a beautiful open window, so it shouldn't affect it too much. But I'm going to brighten up just a little bit. My lighting's dead, guys. I have not charged my Reiki mirror once, though. I haven't even taken the charger out of the box. But what's good is that we're pretty much done. So I took my brightener, and then what was left over of my brightener, or my lighter concealer, my concealer number 0, I bring it down to any point that I want to highlight. So I'll go into my T-zone here, go down my nose, Cupid's bow, chin, okay? And that is done. I look really blue now. I look super, super blue. Okay, hopefully the lighting is still good. Hopefully you can kind of see. Now, I do still look really flat because we're just demoing. All I'm demoing is the foundation and 2 concealers. That's all I have not added blush. I've not put eyeshadow on. I have no brows on. I have no bronzer, nothing on. This is it. But if you watch from the beginning of the video, you're going to see that I had a lot of redness to my face, residual redness from breakout, like basically a rash on my face from my unfortunate experience last weekend. The concealers that I use are 0 and 2. The shade of foundation that I used today was Olive 1. And when I use my bronzer and blush, I will go bronzer and blush number 7. And if you want, I can quickly demo that, because the beauty is makeup, when you're using phenomenal makeup, it's a really quick thing. So I have my bronzer. I just literally barely pat, hit, and I bring it right up here to give my face just a tad of definition. Okay, see the definition that just gave me? It's going to bring out my cheekbones. I have really, really high cheekbones, but this helps my face not look so flat. And then I'm going light today. I'm just going to go to the nail salon today. I got to get my nails done from Mexico. But you can see the dimension coming into my face with the bronzer. My client actually, she did get bronzer as well, so this will work. This will be like basically a full-blown tutorial for everything that she bought. And her next order, she's going to get blush. So bronzer, you can see I suddenly, boom, I have dimension. My face doesn't look super, super flat anymore. The concealer shades I recommend for Shinto 2, I would say probably 3. And if you wanted a brightener to go with 2, I think 0 would be very, very light on a Shinto 2. But I'd like to see a picture of you. If I could see a picture of you, it will help me a lot more. Okay, so I just went in barely to my blush number 7. And I'm a blush whore. We know this. You guys, if you watch me, you know that I love my blush. So I'm just going to bring it to the apples of my cheek and come out. I go with my chin, I go with my forehead, and I bring the rest onto my nose. And look, I'm done. If you're oily, something great that you can do is use the translucent pressed powder. I actually like the sheen that this gives me. Our foundation it's supposed to look like skin. It's supposed to look like you're not wearing makeup and that you just have phenomenal skin. And so it gives you that skin sheen. Hopefully it's picking up in the mirror. If you want to mattify that, you can use our translucent pressed powder. 100% fine. But from this point, I would either go in and do my eyeshadow. I would definitely pull my brows together because my brows are just a complete hot mess right now. And I don't know that I have a brow pencil with me. Here's one. I have like a million random brow pencils just hanging around. I'm waiting for us to come out with a brow pencil. And I know that we will have one. Oop, but if I'm on a lazy girl routine, I don't do the eyeshadow thing. If I'm going to do a heavy face and I have an important function, you bet your butt I'm using our eyeshadow in Taupe for the Best. That is the shade that I would typically use for mine, and that's a shade I recommend for most of my clients because taupe is kind of universal. No matter what hair color you have, a taupe shade is going to look really beautiful on you. But that's typically what I will be using on my brows, but I just wanted to do a quick fill. Brow products, yes. Stay tuned. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Now, to finish my look, I could slap on some mascara, and I have a very easy look for the day, but we covered all of what we need to with the Foundation 2 Concealer Palette. This palette is my #1 seller. I sell more of this to anyone. My clients love it because it lasts them forever. They love that it holds all day. They love that they can pop this pan out and replace it when they need to, that these are going to last them forever. Plus, it's compact. When you have this little tiny thing that's all of the foundation and concealer that you need, it minimizes counter space. You're not having a bunch of bottles everywhere. You're not digging for stuff. And it's really easy to throw in a travel bag if you travel a lot. So I'm sorry my lighting went out. Hopefully it didn't interfere with the way you guys were able to see this this product definition or demonstration rather. But if you are interested in getting the Foundation 2 concealers, go find your LimeLight Beauty Guide. If you don't have a LimeLight Beauty Guide already, I'm happy to help you. Select a shade, get matching and corresponding concealer shades, but this has been a very, very phenomenal solution to most of my clients. They love it. I will recommend either brush or sponge application. If you're a finger applier, this is not how, I don't want you using your fingers with these products. I'm gonna harass you into getting a brush or a sponge. Either way, they're really affordable. And you probably own a brush that you can use anyway. But let me see. Chanel said, do you think they will come out with eye pigments? Eye pigments, define pigments, because eye pigments is just a fancy way of really saying eyeshadow. If you're talking about like a loose mineral pigment, I'm not certain because that's not something that the professional world would use. So it's not something that we would really, because we work with professionals and everyday women, I'm not sure. I personally don't like loose pigments. I think they're messy. I think they're, tapping them into a cap. I did the Bare Minerals thing for a very long time, and there's a lot, right? You got a big drawer full of pigments, but I'm not sure if that's what you're referring to, but if you want pigment, right, and you're looking at like our eyeshadows, these are going to be heavier pigment than anything that you're finding out there. So in my opinion, ease of use, you know, they're pretty, they're simple, they're small. The compact nature of them makes everything super easy. And yes, as long as I remember to throw it in my travel bag, right? So I'm going to take my butt down to the salon. I'm going to get my nails done, which are super grody, get my toes done for Mexico. I have no idea what color I'm going to pick, but we will figure it out when we get there. All right, guys, I hope you're having a beautiful, beautiful Saturday. And I hope that you enjoy your weekend, and I will talk to you later. All right, bye.